So the reason I'm recording on a shitty fucking camera is because I just fucking feel like it. I feel like putting this in one review because I'm going to see Halloween Ends in about 2.5 hours, 3 hours. It's like currently 5:30, 5:36 on Tuesday. So I'm going to review Halloween 4. I recorded my Halloween 3 review on my phone, so I'll upload that whenever. But I want to review the Michael Myers ones first anyway. So Halloween 4, two copies of this. Got this one in 2012 DVD. I got this Blu-ray last year, 2021 for Christmas. Yeah, I got Halloween 4 for Christmas. So it's Roman numerals on this cover, and it's just regular 4 in this one. So Halloween 4, made in the year of 1988. 10 years after the original. It's a 10-year anniversary movie. So yeah, basically what the plot of Halloween 4 is. It's been 10 years since the events of Halloween 1 and 2, and essentially Michael Myers is being transferred out of this morgue, because as you know, at the end of Halloween 2, he was lit on fire, blown up to shit, and Dr. Loomis done that. We learned from a fucking rant, the guy in the fucking place, that Dr. Loomis actually survived the end of the Halloween 2, but his face is all fucked up, which is like, yeah, sure. And essentially what ends up happening then is they're talking, he recaps the events of the first 2 films, this guy that's talking to the other 2 people, and essentially Michael Myers, they end up transferring him out of the hospital, driving out, and Michael Myers ends up attacking and killing both of them. We only see one death on screen though. Crashes the hospital, crashes the hospital ambulance thingy, and essentially wants to return to Haddonfield to kill his niece. Yes, I said niece, because we learn Michael Myers has a niece by the name of Jamie Lloyd, who is a foster child who is in her home, who misses her parents. She has a sister named Rachel, who she's really close with, or a foster sister named Rachel, who she loves a lot, and they care about each other. But she stays up all night, and she's been having these weird vision nightmares about Michael Myers, who she doesn't know. She just thinks he's the boogeyman. Whoa. Okay. So essentially, she looks at an old photo of Laurie Strode, and we learn that Laurie Strode is her mother, and that she died in a car accident, which of course this movie gets retconned down the line, so that doesn't end up being true. So essentially, she has a nightmare that Michael Myers attacks her, and he comes up from behind the bed in a pretty iconic scene, a pretty iconic shot. So the parents have to try to calm her down. So the next day is Halloween, and essentially, fucking hell, my hair is starting to get on my titties. 1 second. And essentially, Rachel, played by Ellie Cornell, is planning to go out with her boyfriend, who she really, really likes. But she learns that she has to babysit Jamie because the other babysitter cancelled and they want to go to a party. So she's pissed off. Jamie gets annoyed and Jamie gets upset. Then she comforts Jamie again because Jamie's gone through a lot. Says, "Look, I'll bring you trick or treat and we can get ice cream after school." She's like, "Okay, cool." So Jamie goes to school, but of course she ends up being bullied by a bunch of dickheads who are actually a lot more harsh than the bullies in the original Halloween, because they go, "Jamie is an orphan," and all this shit. And says, "Oh, her mother's dead," and stuff. And so because of this, Jamie gets picked up by Rachel, and she has a best friend named Lindsay. Now, a lot of people actually might not know this. This is actually meant to be Lindsay Wallace from the first movie, played by a different actress, though. And they're talking about the guy, and they're talking about their relationship drama, and she wants to go on a, Jamie wants to go trick-or-treating, so she lets her know. They go to the costume shop, talk to this guy, the guy that Rachel likes, Brady, who's a fucking dick, honestly, because him and this blonde chick are kind of flirting. The blonde chick tells him to fuck off. They go in, they talk that he can't come tonight. Like, we can go out tomorrow because she has to babysit. I was like, why don't you just come over when to go sleep? I can't or whatever. So they're just there fucking around. Jamie's looking at costumes. Michael Myers ends up going into the store, grabbing the mask, and she gets a fright. They run off or whatever. Now, just before that, we do cut to Dr. Sam Loomis. We cut to these cops that go and find this hospital thing. Why am I calling it a hospital thing? Fucking ambulance. The word's not coming into my fucking mind. So it's crashed into the river because that's why Michael Myers, he killed them. And also the ambulance stopped outside the house of Jamie's house, whatever. Just before that. So he ends up talking to people in the mental institution. So you're like, what the hell? In Smith's Grove, how could you have let him escape? How did you let him go? And all this stuff. So essentially he goes to try and find where Michael might have gone. And they're basically saying, they're like, oh, Loomis is kind of being the way he was in the first two. And they're like, oh no, you're crazy. He's fine, he's dead. He's like, he's a man. He wouldn't have been able to survive it. He's like, he's no man. He survived this crash. This was a sticker? Holy fucking shit, I didn't even know that. What the hell? Oh my god, I didn't even realise that. Damn, that's kind of cool. So apparently that's just a... Yeah, I was wondering why there was it felt really papery. Holy shit. That's actually a lot better. So yeah, so he basically... He's wondering where he is and trying to find them and all that. And he goes to try and find Sheriff Brackett from the first two, but of course he's now retired, and also I'm pretty sure Sheriff Brackett wouldn't want to talk to him anyway. I don't know why he didn't. So the cop ends up trying to help. He tries to warn Michael that he tries to warn the cop that Michael's gone to Haddonfield, and he's like, no, we can't. And he's like, Sheriff, you need to listen to me. He's gonna do it. He's after his niece. He killed his sister, and he tried to kill his other sister, Laurie, who passed away, and all this shit. And just keeps going on and on. So they start this investigation to try and look for Michael Myers again, just like the first two. And essentially Michael ends up going to a place, killing the mechanic, stealing his clothes, and then obviously he gets the mask from the Halloween store. And essentially Michael pops up before he gets his mask and meets Loomis. Loomis tries to shoot him. Michael steals a car. There's this great shootout scene where he ends up blowing up the fucking gas station. It's fucking badass, I'm not gonna lie. Then Loomis is left hitchhiking, and pretty much then these fucking teenagers come and drive off on him, and then he gets a lift from this old guy, and then they kind of talk, and he's a preacher, and talks about the devil and all this other fucking crazy shit. Meanwhile, Rachel and Jamie are getting ready to go trick-or-treating. They go out. She babysits Jamie. They go out trick-or-treating. And then, of course, there's all these... 1 second. Oh, Jesus. There's all this relationship drama, but pretty much between them. Between Brady, because one of the houses is Brady. And also, Jamie dresses up as a clown. She finds the clown costume in her place and is looking in the mirror. And Brady she goes to the girl's house and talks to Rachel and sees Brady in there. Then her and Brady split up. And Brady is actually secretly cheating on Rachel because he's a fucking dick. So, essentially, as she's going trick-or-treating, pretty much... what ends up happening is she still sees visions of Michael Myers. She goes off with the guys that were bullying her earlier. Michael Myers ends up killing a electrician and ends up killing massacring a fucking police station and cutting off heads, and they're basically looking for him. And he's basically on the run. So Loomis and the cop are trying to warn everybody. They hear about the murders, and a bunch of these rednecks end up teaming up and starting this kind of alliance to basically go after Michael Myers and hunt him down, because apparently one of the rednecks actually lost one of his kids in either the first or second film, so he wants to kill Michael Myers basically. And Ellie Cornell, Rachel, is basically her and Jamie get split up. They're running around. They end up finding each other. Then the cops and Loomis end up basically warning them that Michael Myers has escaped and he's coming back. They thought he was dead. You got to get home. So he goes home. A cop goes, checks up, leaves. They get back to the house and are basically being guarded. But they don't go to the house because the parents are gone out of town, but they basically go back to the cop's house, which the cop, his daughter, is actually the blonde chick that Brady is boning. And by the way, you see her boobies in this. Hallelujah. Sorry, I have to. It's just nice pair of boobies. Anyway, so that happens with that. So they go in, they set up, they try and essentially guard it down. Michael Myers cuts the power. And then essentially Michael Myers starts killing off more people. He kills off the cop at the door, kills off the cop in the room, kills the daughter by shoving a shotgun through her, tries to attack Jamie and fucking... what's her fucking name? Rachel, and Brady, kills Brady, runs after Rachel and Jamie, gets on the roof, falls over, goes to a school. Michael Myers breaks in. Loomis basically has to try to protect Jamie. Michael tries to fucking attack him. Michael has blonde hair. They try and shoot him. The final act is the fucking hitchhikers end up picking up Rachel and... not the hitchhikers, the fucking hunters pick up Rachel and Jamie. Michael ends up attacking and killing all of them. They crash. Rachel ends up grabbing the truck, driving into Michael. The cops come around. They shoot Michael over and over again until he falls. They go back to the house. Jamie gets washed up. The parents come home. Everything seems fine until we get a point of view shot very similar to the opening of the first one. Jamie puts on the mask, stabs her mother to death. Or until Halloween 5. Fuck that up. But anyway. And then it ends with her holding up the scissors and Loomis is like, no! 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 So yeah. So that is my movie review. Or that's... my movie review, sorry. So that's basically Halloween 4 in a nutshell. So what do I think of it? I love this fucking movie. I think this movie's so underrated. To be honest, this is technically the start of the whole Thorn trilogy, but this is the best one. It's not as bad in this one. I think 5 and 6 just fucked it up. Well, we'll get to them movies. But I think this is underrated as shit. So, where do I start? First of all, I do like the look of the film. It doesn't have the wide John Carpenter kind of look like the first three had. Even though 2 and 3 weren't directed by John Carpenter, he's still part of them. So this has a bit more of a full screen, just regular horror slasher 80s look. But there's a lot of scenes I love in this film. As I said, Donald Pleasance coming back to play Loomis for a third time. He does a great job. Every scene the guy's in, he's amazing. I like the makeup they done for his fucked up look. Even though I don't fully buy it, I'm kind of glad he survived the ending of Halloween 2. So I like that. And I also find it interesting that it's a direct sequel to the second one as well, but still has the Halloween 4 title. That's why it's called The Return of Michael Myers, because not only does he come back, but he wasn't in the third one. So yeah. But I love the part like where Loomis is just running, you know, you get this kind of nice shots of this kind of deserty kind of area, like, not deserts, and he's on the road and all that, and he's like, and you feel bad for him because he's an old man and all that shit. And essentially there's these fucking teenagers, these cheerleaders are like, come on, get in, old man. He's like, and then they're like, he's like, and they're like, loser, drives off them, and you're like, fuck off. Before that, he was looking for a hitchhike ride and all that. But I also like that he has his original coat and the same look he had in the first film. And then he sees this other hitchhiker's like, oh, stop it, and all that. And he's like, hey, hi. He's like, oh, hi there, where are you heading? He's like, Haddonfield, Illinois. He's like, where are you going? It's a long way. He's like, yeah. So he's driving. He's like, oh, yes, it is. And driving. And then you get this really great scene, and everyone talks about this because this is one of the only times in the whole franchise where you actually get to see Dr. Loomis bond with someone. And I really like this. So he's like, oh, I've been here a long time. He's like, you traveling a long time? He's like, yeah, I'm here. I know you got that look in your eyes. What are you doing? You're hunting evil. You could say something like that. It's like, yeah, you're hunting evil and all that. And essentially, he's like, hunting evil for many goddamn years. He's drinking, driving, but the devil. Oh, I'm after the devil and all that. And then Loomis is just kind of smiling and driving off. I like that scene. Loomis once again is a very likable character, and it's just a fucking pleasure to see him again. You know, I love the scene when he goes to the gas stations in the middle of nowhere. He's like, oh, where is it and all that. And he's like, oh God, and sees a dead body, walks in, and goes, where is he? And pulls a gun or whatever. And then is like, Michael. And then sees him in the mirror, and he's like, why do you have to come home and kill all these innocent people, Michael? Why do you do it? Why? If you want to take a victim, just take me. Don't kill all these people, Michael. God damn you, shoots the mirror and all. The Michael's like, runs over, and then he's like, drives the car. He's like, oh shit. And Loomis is just there, shoots at it, fucking hits the gas station, and jumps from behind, and it's like, damn it, and all that. And it's like, oh shit, great explosion effects, great budget. It's like, oh shit, it's action packed. Rambo Afterlife said it best, actually, that it is almost like a pumped up version of the original movie. That's just great. So you're like, oh fuck, some great action in that scene. But I love the scene where Loomis goes up and sees, like, goes like, they're like, oh yeah, the guys are like, oh yeah, it's great, you know, he got out of here last night, he's killing people. And Loomis like, what did you do? Why did you let him escape? He's in Smith's Grove. He's like, what? He'll be out, he'll be back to hunt. He's like, Loomis, why? It's like, here's Doctor, you know, I shot him 6 times before and I burned him and it still didn't do anything. He's like, he'll be back. He's human. You're talking to somebody. If he's a man, he's gonna hurt people. You gotta stop him, do something. And I like that he cares about people. Like, innocent people are gonna die on Halloween night, just like 10 years ago and stuff like that. And once again, Loomis is just like, oh shit, you know, he's another, once again, he's a likable character, and you're like, fuck, he really does care about people. You know, he's not just a doctor. He wants Michael to fucking be gone because he sees him as the boogeyman. You know, and Donald Pleasence sells it, and you can tell he's been through a lot. Now, it also is possibly because of his old age, but he's like, Michael, you know, there's a lot of pain, and he does seem to get, his voice does seem to get more graspy because he got older as the films went on. But I love that scene, and as I said, I like the makeup. It's fucked up. How his face got all fucked up and shit. But I also like the part when he goes to the sheriff. It's like, Sheriff, can I speak to Sheriff Becker? It's like, Sheriff Becker retired 10 years ago. I can help you out. It's like, oh, I need to know he's here. Michael's back. It's like, who? Michael Myers. I lit him on fire in the hospital 10 years ago on Halloween night, and he killed over 16 people and all this stuff. It's like, well, we got to stop him. It's like, no, shit, we can't do anything if nothing has happened. Sheriff, something happened last night in the hospital. This is a man. We can't prevent more people getting killed and stuff like that. It's like, you got to stop it. It's like, Sheriff, please. And he's like, okay, this little girl, Jamie's in danger and all that stuff. He's like, okay, we'll do something about it. But similar to the original, I love when all the scenes where they're just kind of driving around like, oh, what's going to happen? And like, where is he? And they're looking around and stuff. It's like, where is he? And they go into the police station and go, oh my god, and everyone's been fucking massacred and shit like that. And it's like, what's happening? And heads have been decapitated. It's like, what happens is like, no man could have done this. He's like, this is not a man. It's like, what the hell are we dealing with here, Loomis? I don't know. We're dealing with pure and utter evil. We have to stop him and all that. And you're like, oh, fucking, once again, Donald Pleasence fucking sells it. Just sells it. And yeah, and just like the second Halloween movie, there's a massive body count in this one, which I really like. I like the part where you get the electrical station guys there, and then the electricians are like, Jesus Christ, and sees Michael Myers with the mask. It's like, what are you doing? Don't even try that fucking Halloween shit with me. I'm not in the mood for that. He's like, hey, what are you doing? Grabs him, like, electrocutes him. And I like the idea that he kills another random person, because that's one of the things that makes Michael Myers scary, is the fact that he could just go and attack anybody, you know? So I like that. I love when the guy's like, hey, I could use a wrench over here. It's like, yeah, sure. The mechanic's there, opens it. It's like, and then Michael Myers doesn't even have the mask. He just has the bandages around his face like he did with Loomis earlier. He's like, and then Michael Myers just stabs the guy, and they're like, oh, fuck. But just, I love that when the scene where the ambulance crashes in the water. It's like, what's happening? And I was like, it crashed here. It's all that. It's like, there's no one inside. Like, Michael Myers is not in. Are there bodies? It's like, no. It's like, oh god. It's like, Loomis, get out of here. It's like, no, I need to do it. And he gets in the river, and it's during that scene right there. And he's like, what's happening? And it's like, there's no bodies. Do you understand? There's no bodies. It's like, he's back. It's like, Loomis, you gotta let go of this Michael shit. He's like, no, he's here. He's gonna kill and all this. And as I said, Donald Pleasence, just the evil's back. You know, it just fucking sells it. But I also do like how different this Halloween film is at times, you know. I like the way I like the opening credits. Now, it doesn't have that, you know, the pumping in it. It just has the like shots of like a farm thing going around, like shots of like Donald Pleasence introducing Danielle Harris and Ellie Cornell, blah blah blah, as Michael Myers, blah blah blah. And just comes up Halloween 4, the return of Michael Myers, and just get this great autumny atmosphere, and it gets you into the autumn or fall season for this movie. And I think it works. You know, you see all the different looks and all that, and it just works. It works as a film. As an intro, it was also different. That's why I loved it. But Eddie Cornell, like, let's get to her and Danielle Harris. Danielle Harris is great in this film. Like, for someone who was a child actress, she was likable. She was great. She's one of my favorite characters. She's been back in the franchise. She was in Halloween 4 and 5, and she was in those two piece of shit Rob Zombie movies. But I really love her in this. She's a great actress. She still speaks very highly of this film nowadays. So, but 1 second. I love, like, just that little detail. You see her like sitting at the window and it's raining, and you can tell she's upset and sad. And then I like the bond that her and Ellie Cornell had. It actually slightly reminded me of the relationship that Kyle and Andy had in Child's Play 2. I think it's just a foster sister element. So it's like, kiddo, what are you doing? You gotta stay up all night. It's like, I don't know. It's like, I'm just looking at the rain. I'm sad. I can't sleep. It's like, you're 7, you know, you don't have to worry about stuff like that. It's like, yeah, come on, get to bed, kids. Like, Rachel, do you love me? Oh, God, this again. Like a sister, of course I love you. We're but not sisters, Jamie. I know, but like a sister. Is like, yeah, sure, just go to bed. Okay, Rachel, or whatever. It's like, and there's also that scene where she's at the couch going, look, Jamie, I know you miss your parents and stuff like that. It's like, I do. I just know what happened to them, but you got us now. We're gonna take care of you. It's like, okay, yeah, and like instantly they had great chemistry, and they're both really likable characters. You know, and great final girls as well. Very great action-packed scenes with them, and I love that. I love that aspect of the film. So I love that. And then you also have the next day, that night, she's just going into the room, and like you get a scene where she's kind of looking, and she opens up the thing and looks at a picture of Laurie Strode, and it's Jamie Lee Curtis is the only time in the picture, so she's not in this film, unfortunately. But we damn did she come back a lot later on. H2O Resurrection 2018 kills ends. Wow. So she's looking through it, and then she's like hearing stuff in the closet, and then Michael Myers just pops up, looks over, and there's thunderstorms. Like and grabs her, and she's like runs to the closet. No, 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 no! And like Jamie, what is it? Open the door, Jamie, and Danielle Harris's acting is amazing. The scream is just so real. Um, I'm not a big fan of the Michael Myers mask in this movie. I got to be honest. I think that's one of the biggest flaws. Is he looks like shit. Like this is not the way he looks in the film. This is completely false advertising because he looks like this, like shit. So he has a knife. He's like, she's trying to grab Jamie and all that. Sam's like, oh, Jamie's like, oh, they're crying. The foster runs in. It's okay, Jamie. It's okay. Just a bad, nasty dream and all that. And it's like another nightmare. So she obviously has been having nightmares and visions about this before, which is kind of the first element. This is the first kind of film. Another issue I kind of have that adds the whole supernatural element. Like, oh god, is this another fucking supernatural? Is this the start of the supernatural phase of Halloween? And it's like, yep. But I like the setup. You know, she's there going like, oh god, we're going out tonight. It's like great, and then she's coming down like, oh god, we got to make breakfast. I have a big date tonight. It's like, okay, I need you to do something for me and all that. It's like, could you watch Jamie for me? And she's like, no, I can't. I've got a really important date with Brady. Remember, like just a teenager, and like I can understand. I relate to that aspect of Rachel's character. She's very relatable human. It's like, I know, but this is important. We've been planning this for months. I know, but could you find someone else to babysit? It's like, fine, I can't. It's like, God, what am I meant to say to him? It's like nothing. It's like, okay. Well then of course everything is ruined. I have to my marriage, you know, my marriage, my fucking my dating life, my getting married, having kids, and all because I have to babysit. And then Jamie's like, okay, well maybe I'm sorry, I have to ruin everything, and it just runs off, and she's like, shit. It's like, well, nice going, Rachel. That girl really needs us right now. Runs upstairs and she's playing with the dog. It's like, come on, boy, and all that. And I like the way there's a dog in the movie. Didn't like that Michael Myers kills the fucking dog. I know he kills the dog in the fifth one. I can't remember. Does he kill him in this? I think he does kill the dog in this, and she finds him later like, no, and all that. So of course kills the fucking dog, and you're like, fuck this guy. So yeah, essentially runs upstairs. It's like, I'm sorry about that kid. You know, I love her. It's like, I don't want you to ruin going out. It's like, you're not ruining it. It's just, it's hard to explain. You know, here, why don't I get ice cream after school? It's like, double scoops. Come on, kiddo, let's go. And I like that Rachel actually genuinely feels sorry and is apologizing, and it's just a likable character. And Jamie, like, they're so sweet. You just want to give both of them a hug. They're just likable characters. So I love that aspect of the film as well. But yeah, and you know, I guess you kind of see more of the teenage aspects. There are moments like, of course, when Jamie's looking at the window at the start and you see the ambulance outside, and it's a rainy night and has great atmosphere. And of course, the Halloweeny atmosphere is actually great in this film. I'd almost say it's even more Halloweeny than the first two. Maybe not the third one, because the Halloween 3 is probably the most Halloweeny of all the Halloween films. Halloween 3 is probably the most underrated one as well. One sec. I have to get this off. This is bothering me. Oh, you fucking bastard. You. Anyway. Oh, you fucking, who are you? Come on, the fuck. Well, okay, whatever. I'll just leave it. So I enjoyed that part of the film. I like when they're driving the cars, like, yeah, let's go and all that. But Jamie, you feel so bad for her because she gets bullied like horribly. You know, she's running to school like, come on. It's like, come on, class, let's go. It's like, oh, Jamie, where's your costume? Oh, wait, you're wearing it because you're ugly. It's like, leave me alone. Just stop it. Just leave me alone. It's like, oh, God. And the way the camera moves, like, where is it? Where's your mommy? Oh, yeah, you don't have one. Oh, yeah, her mom's dead and all that. Jamie's an orphan. Come on, let's go. And she's like, no, leave me alone. And she's running. And then, like, it's in slow motion, and like you have all the costumes and like boogeyman. But Jamie is an orphan. Jamie is an orphan. Boogeyman, boogeyman. Jamie's uncle's the boogeyman. Runs off, runs outside the school. Like, you're okay, you're okay, and just starts crying, and you're like, oh my god. And Rachel comes up like, come on, Jamie, let's get in and all that. And she's like, what's wrong? You okay? It's like, fine. It's like, hi, you remember Lindsay? It's like, hi, Jamie. It's like, yeah. It's like, I'm fine. Do you want ice cream? It's like, yeah. And get this great scene where driving. It's like, does Brady like it? It's like, oh yeah, sure. Stop. It's like, oh, he's great. He's gonna really like you and all that. It's like, oh yeah, stop. So I like the fact that we see Lindsay and that she's doing well for herself. She's not traumatized, which is it's kind of unique to see that sometimes. Like, obviously you won't be traumatized, but at times, you're like, it's refreshing. But it is Lindsay Wallace from the first one. Some people might not know that, but if you look at the credits and all that other kind of shit, it's great. It's like, I want to go trick or treating. It's like, oh really? It's like, yeah, I want to go out with the other kids, be normal. And it's like, I thought you didn't want to go trick or treating, because even later on, it's like, do you want to go trick or treating? She's like, no, I don't want to go trick or treating. You sure, Jamie? It's like, yeah. It's like, okay, well, let's stop and get a costume for you. And I was like, okay, cool. So they go in, and we get this Halloween costume shop, which is cool to see the inside of it. And you got this fucking guy's like, what's happening? And the guy's like, hey, do you think she'll go out with me? He's like, yeah, he's not going to have a chance. It's like, and the guy's like, shut up. And the hot girl's there, and the blonde girl's there, and she was great in the film. She was hot as fuck, and she has the fucking sunglasses on. It's like, great, I'm going to do it. You guys are not going to do it. And goes up, it's like, Wade, okay, Wade, you're not going to be able to do it, Wade. It's like, yes, I will. Wade's not going to do it. Walks up, and she just turns around and goes, fuck off, Wade. It's just like, just turns around, okay. It's like, hi, Brady. It's like, yeah, it's great. See you later and all that. And you're just kind of like, oh, what the fuck? Like, so I like the elements of humor that the movie has. That was a really great, unique part of the film that worked really fucking well. Because you do get those great moments of levity throughout the film. So they're in the costume, like, hey, Brady, what's up? It's like, hi, Rachel's like, hey, looking forward to tonight. It's like, yeah, about that. We're here to get a Halloween costume. It's like, oh, cool. We got, really, Jamie, are you? It's like, yeah. It's like, oh, we got the best selection of Halloween costumes ever. It's like, that's great. Okay, go. So then she's just walking around, and if you see Easter eggs, you see different things like the Halloween lights and different masks, and you even see a couple of like Star Trek masks, which is a reference, and then you see the Michael Myers mask and all, and you do also get this great shot, like so they're there talking, and it does cut back to Loomis, and all cuts back, and eventually they go back to the Halloween store, and you see Rachel and Brady making out, and you're just there like, oh yeah. So I like that, and they're like, look, about tonight, I can't go, guys, like, I have to cancel. Why? I have to babysit Jamie. Why don't we just come over and go sleep? I'm serious, I can't, it's important. It's like, seriously, why would you blow it off? Like, don't be a dick. Like, I'm trying to, we can go out tomorrow. It's like, fine. It's like, okay, fine. So they're arguing and stuff like that. And then we get a great moment where Michael just, like, a great suspenseful, creepy moment where Jamie's walking around and just looking, and then Michael's hand grabs the mask and it's there, and then she sees it, sees him in the front. She's like, it's like, Jamie, what's wrong? What's wrong? It's like, she probably just saw, I saw the boogeyman, because she said it earlier. It's like, no, she probably just saw a Halloween mask. Come on, let's go. And walks off, and you get moments of Michael Myers stalking, and it's just like, it's so effective. It's so fucking creepy, and you're like, holy fucking shit. Michael Myers still got it. But the special effects in this film as well, practical effects for 1988, are brilliant. I love the opening scene where you get the rain and the hospital driving in. It's like, yo, what are we going? Come on, let's go in. They're opening up. It's like, come on. He's like, hi, how you doing? It's like, we're here to see a patient. It's like, yeah. It's like, you're a bit late, aren't you? It's like, yeah. It's crazy rain. It's like, yeah, hell of a night, huh? It's like, yeah. Come on, let's go. It's like, this next patient, and I love how the guy just sums up the whole movie. It gives me the willies. They go on the elevator. It's like, yeah. So, Michael Myers, in 1963, Halloween night, he stabbed his sister, kills her, and all that. And then it's like, and then his doctor, Sam Loomis, goes and shot him 6 times. Eventually, he went after Laurie Strode, his sister, who he also followed to the hospital. Eventually lit them on fire. Loomis survived, but Michael didn't. He's burnt to a crisp. Here he is, like, okay. And he's like, Jesus Christ. He's like, Jesus ain't got nothing to do with this place. They walk in, it's like, here he is, look at the body. He's like, oh God. Then they push it out, and then you get the amazing Halloween theme that John Carpenter team. They take it out, and of course they're there, and the hand's there to get in the van. It's like, okay, so let's look at the patient. Yeah, sure, great. They're driving, and then of course you just get this great. It's like, yeah, I think he's okay, and then his fucking hand goes, and the tongue goes right through the head, and the nurse's reaction is like, ah, it's the paramedics or whatever. It's so fucking suspenseful and realistic, and you're like, oh fuck, it's a great kill. And he starts slamming her down, and obviously she dies off screen. But it's such a great way to open up the movie, and as I said, the body count is massive in this film. Kills the whole fucking police place, slaughters half of the cops, which is really great. Kills the two doctors at the start. Kills the mechanic, kills the electricity guy. So there's just great moments like that throughout the film, and it's just, it works. And of course you get that, you do get the moments where, of course, we get to the Halloween night. The first part's at day, and you get the Halloween atmosphere, but then we get to Halloween night, 1988. It's like, this happened 10 years ago, we can't let it happen again. The cop's like, we can't let this happen again, just like it did 10 years ago. And I like how it's in canon. It takes place in 1988. It was made in 1988, and it came out in 1988. So, well, as far as I know, I might have been working on it before then. But I do love it, and I do love that, like, some people would say that this is the real Halloween 3, which, I'm sorry, technically it is, but I love Halloween 3, so, yeah. But, yeah, so I enjoyed that aspect of the film, and, like, okay, we're gonna go. It's like, bye, have a great night, trick-or-treating. It's like, you ready, Jamie? Yeah, let's go, and all that. And I like those little kind of moments where she's going trick-or-treating, like, yeah, bye, night, you having fun? She's like, yeah, it's great. And it's like, come on, Jamie, we're gonna be late, and all that. It's like, okay, calming, Rachel. And there is this really creepy moment where she's looking at the clown costume in the mirror, and a flash of a young Michael Myers is just there. Obviously, it's a different actor for the young Michael Myers, but it's there, and it's like, oh shit, it's creepy. So I walk around, it's like, here you go, here's some candy and all that. It's like, oh cool, yeah, thank you, bye, thanks. And I love those kind of parts of the film, and it's realistic. Also, another thing I like is the little callbacks, like the Michael Myers just walking around, he bumps into people walking around, you have the dun, 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 and you also have the do, 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 dun, and the do, 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 and all that. He's walking around, and it's creepy, and it is terrifying at times. It's scary, and it works. Once again, it works. So yeah. What was I gonna say? I'm gonna turn the light on. Actually, it's getting late. Don't give us any aggravation. Okay. So I love those parts. Walks around, goes to the house, like, it's like, there you go, trick or treat. It's like, oh, that's nice, it's great. It's like, hi, Rachel. It's like, hi. And I like the realistic thing. You see Brady in the background. She's like, yeah, you okay? It's like, no. It's like, oh God, go get her. And then he comes in and is like, what's wrong? Listen, can we talk? It's like, really? Wow. Really, Brady? You're just going to jump on the next bed? Well, you cancelled, though. Oh, so you're just going to do it? Well, you can have little Miss Hot Pants. Like, I'm sorry. Well, so I was like, Rachel. And you're like, oh, I want to see Brady die. And thank fucking God we do. But yeah, they're walking around, and then meanwhile you have the sheriff, and Loomis like, where are they? We gotta find them. It's like, come on, we gotta go. We have to find where they are, and all this kind of shit. It's like, what are we dealing with here, Loomis? We gotta get them on. It's like, come on. And it's like the first one going around, and, great ideas. And then it's just like, they run into these trick-or-treaters, like, hey, Jamie, do you want to go trick-or-treating with us? Yeah, let's go. Okay, go ahead, you can go. Can I, Rachel's like, yeah. So they're trick-or-treating and becomes friends. It's nice. It's like, that clown costume's really cool. You can go trick-or-treating with us. Thank you. Yeah. So I like that aspect of her, like, they're letting her join in, but at the same time, they're kind of like, oh, fuck these people. They were making fun of her, unless it's just different kids, but they were in the same costumes or if they're playing different characters. But anyway, yeah, so there was that aspect. Um, and meanwhile, there's a long, great moment of Jamie and Rachel walking around like Jamie, Rachel, and looking at people, Jamie, Rachel, and they can't find each other for like ages. And eventually they're like, Jamie, oh my god, there you are. Don't ever do that again. You haven't worried sick. I'm so glad you're safe and all that. So I like the fact that she's worried and scared. Like it adds to the tension and all that. I also love when Michael Myers puts on the mask, gets the knife, gets a butcher knife and all that. He still goes around with that fucking thing. Um, and still has the iconic butcher knife and some great shots of him walking with the butcher knife and all that and all that stuff. So yeah, but I like the creative kills in this film. There's a lot of creative kills and deaths again, of course. But of course, just as they're running, the cops come. It's like, Jamie, come on! It's like, get in the car. It's like, what's happening? Someone's after you. Someone's at your house. We gotta go. We go back to my house. Come on, what's going on? They drive off and all that. It's like, let's go. We'll explain on the way. And just before that, you get this moment like, there he is, and you get this really great moment where they're like, what was that? Is that him, Loomis? And you got a guy in a mask. It's like, grab him. It's like, shoot him. It's like, is that him? No, Loomis, what are you doing? And all that. And then there's another behind him. It's like, what? And all that. And it's like, oh my god. And there's just people in the mask, the same Michael Myers mask everywhere, which is a great idea. Really unique idea. It's creepy. Pulls a gun. Don't shoot. See ya. Happy Halloween. It's like, yeah. And it's like, god damn it. It's like, shit. God damn it. It's like, fuck, they're playing this prank, they're being assholes, you know, because that's what Halloween's about. It once captures the spirit again. But you know, you get these great moments. You know, I'll be back in a second. 1 sec. I have to go for a pee. So I've swapped beds because I'm sexy. Anyway, oh jeez. So I love when we cut to this bar, and I love the fucking atmosphere. It's like, oh, you want anything here? It's like, yeah. So let's go. And then they're like, turn that down, goddamn. It's like, oh, this is happening in Haddonfield. Someone got killed. It's like, oh, guys, is that Michael Myers guy? And all that. It's like, yeah, I heard someone killed his boy a long time ago. And these are likable rednecks. And they kind of do revisit this idea a lot later on in the franchise with Halloween Kills. But they expand on it in Halloween Kills. Halloween Kills was last year. I saw that in cinema as well. So like, yeah, let's go. We gotta go and take him down. Yeah, we lost our boy. Let's go. It's like, Sheriff, we gotta take matters in our own hands. Like, you gotta be safe. Stay in your homes. It's like, no, we gotta do this. Grab the guns. They go off. Like, come on, let's go. They drive, and then they, you know, and then like, you get the idea that more people are trying to hunt down Michael Myers, and as that's why it's more of a pumped up, action packed version of the original movie. But even like the filmmaking techniques, like the editing, the camera work, the music, the suspense, I still find it creepy, and terrifying, and the situation terrifying. And I don't think it fucks the franchise up in any way. Now, don't get me wrong, this is still a bit of a step down from the first three, but I still think that this is one of the last. This was the last great Halloween film we got until H2O. So yeah. I do love the 2018 versions and the other ones. 1 sec, I'm trying to plug in my laptop here. So just bear with me. Essentially, here we go. So okay, back to what I was saying. So they're like, yeah, we gotta go. It's like, stay calm or whatever. So they're like, wait, what's that over there? Michael Myers is there. They're like, come on, what is that? That's the scene later on. They're shooting, they're shots him. It's like, did we get him? It's like, you got this guy instead. We know him. It's like, oh shit. God damn it, thanks a lot, buddy. It's like, oh god. So a really heartbreaking scene where they accidentally kill someone, and you're like, oh fuck. So I was like, shit. So that aspect was great, and like, oh my god. was dark, it was balls, so the driver's like, okay, stay in here, we gotta go in, and cop there's like, no, nothing here to report. So I love this whole like final act, this kind of like big reveal of things. Um, Essentially, Michael, my friend just texted me. Hold on. Who? Okay, cool. Michael essentially, like they go in the house, like okay, stay here and all that, and essentially, but just before that, we see the blonde chick and Brady, and they're having sex, having sex, having sex. Poop my answer, yes. Poop my pants, poop my spam. And they're like, oh yeah. And then she's like, okay, they're kissing by the fire. And I'm like, Jesus, they really fucking planned that shit out. I'm like, holy fuck. And she's like, oh, and takes her top off. And then takes her bra off. And he goes, oh, I think I'm in heaven. She's like, hey, see your boobies, they're making out or whatever. And then the cop there's like, shit, my dad. Oh shit, my dad's like, you're dead. You're dead. And I love that line. Like, come on, get your pants on. It's like, come on, let's go in this way. Come on. It's like, let's go in. It's like, okay. So pulling up. It's like, comes in. It's like, okay, guys, we got to stay in. It's like, what's going on? Dad's like, we got to stay in. There's a guy, killer on the loose, maniac. And there's what? Got to stay safe. You know how to use a gun, son? He's like, yeah, Brady. Yes, I do, sir. He's like, here you go. And also, touch my daughter and I'll kill you. And I love that part where he's like, oh my god, if my father sees you, he'll kill you, but he'll stab you in your ass or something. He'll kill you or whatever. It's like, oh shit. So they go in, they're like, okay, Jamie, gotta stay here. It's like, gotta stay here. The cop stays here to watch it. He's like, you okay? He's like, yeah. Do you want anything? He's like, yeah. And it's like, power lines are down, we gotta go up, the electricity's gone or whatever. Because I really like that though, like that some of the kills actually mean something and they add to the story. Because he grabs the electrician, don't start that Halloween shit with me, and then brilliant practical effect there, electricity wise. I was like, oh shit, the power's gone out and stuff. It's like, yeah, light them up. It's like, so how long are they gonna take? It's like, not long now. How long is it gonna take to get the power back on? Not long. You just stay safe. It's like, okay. And then she goes up. I was like, Rachel, are we gonna be okay? It's like, yeah, we will. Then she's trying to take care of Jamie. It's like, you guys okay? It's like, yeah, we're fine. It's like, or whatever. And then they go, they're talking, and I'm like, okay, let's go. It's like, do you want anything? And she's like, yeah. She's like, I didn't know about you and Brady, okay? It's like, yes, you did, and all that. You did know. It's like, no, I didn't. It's like, yes, you did, you dumbass. It's like, why don't you go up and get it? It's like, oh, God, whatever, and all that. So, I like that. It's like, everything's okay. You got to stay here. Be safe and all that. And he talked to the sheriff. He's like, we got to make sure everything is going around, letting everyone know. Michael Myers on the loose. You got to stay home. Lock your homes. And then they're driving around. Lock your homes. Go home, you idiots. He says to the kids that play the park, go home. It's not safe. Everyone's like, on the streets, like, it's not safe out here. And they're on the way. It's like, go home. And they're doing that while Rachel and all are in the car. And they're like, Rachel, or whatever. I do believe Michael Myers attacks at that part as well. Like, Rachel, like, oh shit, it's like, Rachel, and all they drive off or whatever, like, come on, let's go, Jamie, and all that. So I do believe that happens and shit. And they drive off, it's like, it's not safe, get out of here, and all that. So they're going, and Michael Myers is just walking, and he's there. He's like, what? And then stabs the guy, and then the cop is there dead with a gun. And I can't remember if we see it, they find him dead, like, oh shit, or if he goes, stabs him. But I love that, and then just the whole suspense up in the bedroom. Michael Myers is there. He's just walking around like he's not. You see him walking around doing things. You hear the breathing from the mask, and all that. So once again, I thought that scene was very effective. One sec, I gotta make sure that because I'm going with my girlfriend to see Halloween Ends in a couple of minutes. I gotta make sure. I'm kind of just also doing this review to pass the time as well. Yeah, okay. So I like that. And they're upstairs, and it's like she's there, like, you want some coffee? And to the cop is like, oh God, I really wish we were able to do this. It's great. It's really horrible. Like the phone lines are down for a while. I really wish we could watch some MTV or something while the power's gone out. And then she finds the cop there and is like, then Michael Myers there like, and all that. And she tries to grab the shotgun, like, and Michael Myers grabs the shotgun, like, and then he moves towards the camera and just goes, shoves it right through her, and they're like, oh fuck, finds him dead. They run down like, what's happening? Like, run and all that. And then Michael Myers runs up like, shit. And then Jamie's like, Jamie, stay there and all that. He's like, what's happening? And all that stuff. And Jamie's there. She's like, Rachel, and comes in the room. Michael Myers there, like, Rachel, and all that. I was like, come on. And Michael Myers is trying to attack. She's like, ah, or whatever. And this big ass house. Really nice setting, as I said, for the movie as well. Really nice fucking setting. I was like, what's happening? Grab the gun. It's like shooting him. And then Brady, being the fucking dumbass that he is, shoots the door. It's like, oh shit. The door's made of metal. It's like, what do you mean it's made of metal? It's like, what's that mean? What does it mean? It's like, it means they're trapped in this house. It's like, Jamie, come on. And, Eddie Cornell was great in that, and they're running up. And Michael's there attacking, walking slowly like he does. Like, oh shit. He's there trying to stab and shit. I was like, go on, go upstairs. They walk upstairs, and he's like, they're like, stop it, you son of a bitch. Hitting him, shooting, and he just grabs him like, Brady and all. And then she just starts squeezing his fucking head, and the blood is there. It's like, oh shit. Throws him aside. It was very much like Jason Voorhees in that part. Because the Friday the 13th movies were big at that point as well. So she's running like, come on, Jamie, get up, get out the window. So then they're running, and you get this brilliantly done, suspenseful fucking scene, where they're on the roof and they're like, come on, let's go. And Michael's like, he's there, Rachel. And he falls over, like, he's trying to stab and all that. And she's kind of running, and she's like, oh, Rachel, no. He's like, come on, trying to hit him, and then he's falling over, and it's like, and it nearly falls off. It's like, Jamie, come on. And then she manages to get Jamie down or whatever, but then Rachel ends up falling, like, Rachel, and she was like, Rachel, please don't be dead, please don't be dead, come on, Rachel, wake up. She's crying. She's like, come on, run. And then she's like, and then Michael starts running after her, and she's like, I was like, help me, help me, help me. And one part that makes this movie darker and makes Michael Myers scary is the fact that this is the first Halloween film. Well, not really. It's the first Halloween film where he properly goes after a kid. I know he went after Lindsay and Tommy in the first one, but he full on runs after Jamie. It's like, help me, going through like the different parts, and then Eddie Cornell wakes up, it's like, Jamie, and runs after them and is running, and she's there going through the yard like, Jamie, and then finds the dog, like, and then Michael's just like, runs or whatever. And Lim's like, come on, we gotta go and all that. He's like, going to the school, come on, let's go, whatever. So she ends up going to the school or whatever. It's like, we gotta go, we gotta find your sister, come on. It's like, what's happening? And it's like, we gotta stop Michael and all that. It's like, come on, we're gonna go get the cops and all that, we're gonna stop him. It's like, and then we'll be safe, yeah. And they get in, the priest goes like, then we'll be safe, yeah. Where is it? It's like, it's in here. So they're going like, there, come on, let's go. And then Michael just comes out, like attacks him. It's like, stabs him, like, no. Michael shoots and then throws him through this thing and smashes it, and then runs after Jamie, and has like a blonde hair, which is a bit of a fuck up, but I don't care. It was funny. So he's running after Jamie or whatever, and Michael, and like running. It's like, oh shit, and he's like, come on, let's go. And they get in and they drive, and the rednecks save, and the cops like, we gotta find them, and you just get this great fucking moment. And the finale is fucking awesome. It's amazing. It's a great finale. As they're driving and trucks, like, we gotta get them. It's like, you guys okay? It's like, yeah. And he's, Rachel's been injured and there's blood on her face and all that. And he's like, yeah, it's fine. And then Michael gets up. It's like, yeah, you guys okay? It's like, yeah, sure. And then Michael gets up, like, fucking starts stabbing them. It's like, oh shit. Throws them off and like fucking stabbing them and slicing their fucking heads and killing each and every one of them. It's like, you guys okay? It's like, oh my god, what's happening? And then Michael just smashes his hand right through, just like he did to the North. They're like, and then the thing crashes. Then Michael's there and then stabs him. He's like, come on. And then gets it, and she gets in. Eddie Cornell gets in, they drive, and she's like, come on. And then Michael's outside, and she goes, die, you son of a bitch. Knocks him over, is down, and then Michael's running after Jamie, and it stops, and then Jamie goes over to check to see if he's alive, and then the cops are like, Jamie, don't touch him. And Don Plaza's like, don't touch him, Jamie. They're like, come on, get down. And Michael's there like that. And then they're just like shooting him in slow motion over and over and over again until he falls to his death, which is a great death scene. You can argue that you don't see his body, but some people also say that he died in this one as well, and they shouldn't have brought him back. They try to explain that in the fucking next one. I'll wait till I get to that one. So that happens. They're like, okay, let's go. You guys are going to be okay. Like, yeah, they drive back home. So I love that scene, the special effects, the badass action part of it. They're like, oh my god, it's great to see you and all that. And, trying to find this fucking... you know, they're like you be okay. It's like, do you want a bath? It's like, yeah, we'll be okay. So they go upstairs, starts a bath. Like, you got to be safe. I also would like to point out that I believe you see the thorn symbol a couple times in this film, which you're kind of like, ugh, the fuck. I don't really remember, but I also love what I love about this film is that it gave us another likable lead in Jamie and um, Rachel, and the great chemistry and the acting was great. I also like that she is named after Jamie Lee Curtis, so we get the doom, doom, doom point of view shot and the mask going on doom, new, new, and she's walking up the stairs or whatever. And it's like, Jamie, you okay, and all that, and then eventually she grabs the scissors, which these kind of callbacks were cool. She's in the bath like Jamie, and then out of nowhere, and you get the stabbing like and they run up, and then they're running up in slow motion, and then the cops there, and the father, the stepfather, and Eddie Cornell, and then you get this great moment where Donald Pleasance is like, no, no, and all that, and then Jamie's just standing over there with the fucking scissors and breathing with the mask on. He's like, no, no, pulls a gun. They're like, stop him, mate. He's like, no, 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 and then it's just there like that. I was like, do, cuts to a cliffhanger. Brilliant fucking ending as well. Shocking ending, ballsy ending. And you're like, holy shit, I cannot wait to see the next one. Well, too bad they fucked the next one up. Because that was originally what they were going to do, but of course they didn't have the balls to kill off Michael Myers. So if the directors came back, we would have got a different film. I love this film. I would probably give it an 8 out of 10. I think it's brilliantly shot. It's brilliantly acted. I think it's a very, very fun movie. There's some great kills, great practical effects, great acting. Some of the acting's not the best from some of the other people. I love the 80s vibe of it. The late 80s vibe of it, the horror aspects, the references to the original, the smart callbacks to the first two. I like how it kind of suggests the cycle's going to start all over again. It's almost like a little trilogy as well, of the first three Halloween films, which this is the start of the Thorn trilogy, and a lot of people, it's also the best one, but a lot of people also say that it's also the same title as the Pink Panther films, and that's what AGN said. So yeah, so I give it an 8 out of 10. That's my movie review of Halloween 4. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys later and bye. This DVD print is terrible. This Blu-ray print is brilliant. Here's the front, spine, back. It's 18s. Rewatched it recently. Yeah. So yeah, and it's also a reversible cover. So I got this German Blu-ray last year. I watched it in English. Fuck, I didn't even get to properly look at that, but I love this cover. This great design here. You probably can't see that, but it's Jamie holding the knife, and then Michael. Really great cover. I like those new designs. I believe there are new releases of all the films on 4K. Yeah, might get them for collection wise, but I hung up the little sticker thing over here for Halloween 4. So yeah. So yeah, Return of Michael Myers is great. I love it very much. So yeah, I will see you guys later. Bye.